Hello everyone, I am Nikita Sankla, educator at the Backbenchers Academy. Welcome you in another session of science. Today we are going to study chapter 2, that is about the living world. So let us begin with our chapter. Now in the picture you can see that there are different kind of human beings and animals everywhere which can be categorized by their different features. Now further we are going to study about the characteristics of living things. First thing we know is that there are many different kinds of plants and animals. Some can show similarities too, or they can be different. They are categorized by different features as discussed earlier, and by all these features we come to know that they are living things. On the other hand, these features cannot be seen in the non-living things. Growth. Now in the picture here we can see changes in human beings, like height increases only up to a particular age but not after that. As I explained you in previous slide, a baby will grow up to becoming an adult person, whosoever it is, either man or a woman. Humans grow up to only 18 to 21 years of age. Growth in plants. Now as humans also grow, plants and animals also grow. Animals grow only for a certain period, but plants on the other hand keep on growing as long as they live. The growth of all the living things occur from within the body, from all the body parts. Now in the picture here we can see the example of coconut tree, how the tree is seen when planted and how it keeps on growing. Now let us study about the necessity of food for growth. Here on the right hand side we can see how plants make their own food. The plants make the food with the help of sunlight, water and necessary nutrients in the soil. Plants take carbon dioxide from the air through leaves and produce food with the help of these things. This whole process of food production in plants is called the photosynthesis. Through this whole process, plants also give us oxygen, which is necessary for all the living things. Do you know why plants are only green in color? I'll tell you the answer. That is because plants have chlorophyll present in them. That is why they are always in green color. Now we will see different kind of animals. The first is herbivorous on the left hand side and the second is carnivorous on the right hand side. The herbivorous animals are those animals which eat only plants. As we can see in the image, there is an example of a camel which eats grass. On the right hand side, carnivores are those animals who eat flesh of other animals. As an example, I have shown you an image of a tiger. Now as we have seen different kind of animals, plants and animals are different. So animals do not have chlorophyll present in them and they do not produce their own food. So they keep on searching for food which is necessary for living. Yeah, as we all know. So as animals keep on searching for food, they keep searching for food whichever they eat. Like herbivorous animals will search for plants which they eat and carnivorous animals will search for flesh of other animals which they eat. The intake of food, the food which we intake, like we should always eat healthy food and not junk food which is necessary for our body growth. Junk food will not let our body grow, but healthy food will let our body grow. Now respiration. Respiration is also one of an important characteristics of living thing. Now in this slide, on the very first line I have given you an experiment. You can try it out if you want. We'll see the experiment, how it works. Okay. First of all, hold your hand in front of your nose. What do you feel? You feel that you are inhaling the air and exhaling air. Now, also, if you don't want to try this, try second experiment. That is, keep your hands on your chest. Here also, you will feel that you are breathing. This is called respiration. Now, have you seen a sleeping dog? How does the belly of a sleeping dog move? It moves very fast because the respiration system of the dog is fast. Now, living things, as we all know, need oxygen to live. The inhaling of oxygen, the inhale and exhale process is called respiration. You exhale hot air, that is carbon dioxide, and inhale the cold air, which is oxygen. This whole process of inhaling and exhaling is called respiration, which continuously keeps on going in our body. Let us study about the excretion, which is another characteristics of living things. Excretion, in short words, means the process of eliminating the waste substance from the body of animals. The waste substance, which is formed during many processes that happens in the body of the animals, is called excreta. Oh yes, animals have specific organ for excretion. But do you know that plants too excrete? We can see that the leaves of the plant shed in a specific season. This is because the waste substance should also be removed from the plants, and this happens with the help of the shedding of the leaves. We study about the response of living things to stimuli and movements. What does stimuli means? Stimuli means a thing that evokes reaction in an organ or tissue. For example, area of the brain which respond to a stimuli. It responds to auditory stimuli. In short, stimuli means functional response to something. Well, in simple words also we can say that stimuli is nothing but respond to something. Best example I can give of stimuli to you is an potted plant which is in the window grows towards sunlight. You must have always seen that if you pot a plant in a window, it will always grow in the direction of sunlight. That is, its response to the stimuli. The movement which takes place in living things at such time through which or in the way they respond to stimulus, and the ability in which they respond to this is called the responsiveness to stimuli. The ability which they have to respond to these things is called as the responsiveness to stimuli. Now, further here, we will study about the reproduction. In simple words, we can say that reproduction means the process through which a living thing generates a new living thing like itself. It can also be called as procreation in other words. Some animals lay out eggs. Now, plants are also produced from seeds, stems, or the leaves of the plants. Now, reproduction is also one of the important characteristics of living things. As we studied from the beginning, that we were going to see different characteristics of living things which are very important to study. A definite lifespan. Okay, so now let us study about a definite lifespan. The lifespan of plants and animals are different. For example, as given here, a dog lives for 12 to 18 years while an ostrich lives for 50 years. Isn't that amazing? That ostrich lives for so long. On the other hand, plants do not have any specific lifespan. They live for a very long time than animals. On the right hand side here in the slide, you can see the example of the puppy life cycle, like how it can be seen when it is newborn, how it can be seen when it is 0 to 3 months, 3 to 12 months and 12 months and above. Living at a certain age, as we can see in this slide, at certain stage of life, living things became capable of reproduction. Now, in previous slide, we have studied what is reproduction. So, you might be clear here that what does reproduction means. So, living things become capable of reproduction. Then later on, after life reproduction stage, the organs become weak. But still later, their life comes to an end. In other words, as I explained here, the lifespan of the animals is definite. They live for a definite time and not longer than that. So, we can say when the organs become weak, the living things begin to die. A cellular structure. After studying about the lifespan, now let us study about the cellular structure. All the living things are made up of small units which are called as cells. Now, living things can be made up of single cell or many cells. The living things which are made up of single cells can also be called as unicellular organisms, and living things made up of many cells are called as multicellular organisms. Now, here you might be clear about the difference between the multicellular organisms and unicellular organisms and how living things are made up of different organisms. Despite all the other characteristics of living things, cellular structure is one of the main characteristics and important characteristics of the living things. Through whether number of cells are one or many, it doesn't matter over here. Now let us understand about the useful living things. What are useful living things? Do you know that there are useful living things as well as harmful living things? Here in this slide we are going to study about the useful living things, and later on we will study about the harmful living things. Now let us understand about the useful living things. We know that plants are used for household or for other industrial purposes, and some examples are given here that what plants has a lot of purpose for which it can be used. Like plants, some animals are also used. Like plants are useful to us, some animals can also be useful for us. For examples, cows are used for milk, camel, donkeys, etc. Such kind of animals are used for transportation. Nowadays they are not mainly used for transportation, but yes, we used to use them as transportation in earlier days, or for other purposes they can also be used. And earthworm is also useful in agriculture. Now earthworm is useful in agriculture because it prevents the crops from destroying by other small we say ants or other small kida which are there. It prevents from destroying the crops of the farmers. Now right hand side you can see the image like how plants are useful, how animals are useful for different purposes. Now here also I have given the example of fenugreek, which is called as methi. We eat it, so it is also very healthy and useful for our body. Potato, okra, which is called as bhindi in Hindi, apple, banana are used as food, which are useful for our body growth and also for all the living things. Now harmful living things. As I told you earlier, there are not only useful living things but also harmful living things. Here we will study about the harmful living things. For example, mosquito. If a mosquito bites you, it can cause diseases like malaria, dengue or many other diseases. And if cockroach mice are there, they keep on destroying our food. Bite of harmful poisonous animal like snake, lizard can also cause diseases, or even it can cause death. And also if wild animals enter human settlements, they will lead to cause of destruction. They can cause severe destruction, as we have now as we discussed in the previous science chapter 1, deforestation. So because of deforestation also, the wild animals enter the human settlements, and they are a major cause of destruction to human settlements. Not only animals, plants can also be harmful. But yes, we should always remember that not only animals but plants can also be harmful for us. Now I have given some examples here. Now Datura plant is poisonous. So as I told you, some plants can also be harmful. Datura plant, which is poisonous, and fungi and algae growth in drinking water or any other water place or in any other kind of useful water can also be the cause of spread of diseases, as the fungi and algae causes diseases. Other examples can be the dudar, parthenium and other weeds. The pods of the nettle and colocasia leaves also causes itching, which are very harmful. Now plants like oleander, lantana have strong odors. Odors means what? Smell. The Datura plant, as I told you, is poisonous, and uncontrolled growth should not be there of algae and fungi. That is why we always keep the place of drinking water and the other useful places where we keep water, other places where there can be fungi or algae can grow, we keep it very clean. Now wild animals. We discussed about the types of animals in previous slide. Now let us study about the wild animals here. Wild animals which hunt other animals for food are called predators. The wild animals which hunt other animals for food are called predators. For example, tiger, lions, wolves, leopards. They hunt other animals and for their food, and these are called predators. Now, due to some human mistakes, like as I told you earlier, deforestation, that is cutting of trees of forest, some animals enter the human settlements and kill domestic animals or people. As they enter the human settlements, they kill domestic animals or people. So, these are very dangerous. Now, we studied in this. Now, let us revise what we have studied in this chapter. We studied about the various characteristics of living beings. Characteristics of living things. Now, first characteristics we studied about living thing is food is very necessary for us first of all. Then second characteristics we studied about the intake of food which we take, that we should eat healthy food and not junk food. Now third characteristic we studied is respiration. Fourth characteristic we studied is excretion. Fifth characteristic we studied is responsiveness to stimuli. Then we studied about the reproduction, which is also another characteristics of living things. Then we studied about the lifespan. Then the another characteristic is the cellular structure, which is the most important and the main characteristics of living thing. Doesn't matter, number of cells may vary. Now we studied about the useful living things and the harmful living things. Then we studied about the wild animals, and here we end our chapter. So here we end our chapter. Hope you loved it. Also do ask questions if you have. Thank you.